Well, hello again, atheists. I'm going to do this video before it gets hot outside and I got to turn my loud behind air conditioner on. Good morning, atheists. I'm going to do this video. It shouldn't take long. This is the last one. I'm going to do this. Then I got to go get me some shoes. My shoes are falling apart. Got to go get me some shoes. Got to go downtown, get me some shoes. Went to Walmart yesterday. They sold me these, I don't know what they was trying to sell me, but they got $40 pairs of shoes in there. Okay? And I know what you're thinking, well, who buys $40 pairs of shoes in 2017? Well, last time I got shoes, I paid like close to $100 on them. But I get my shoes, except for my sneaks, I get my shoes because I don't do nothing but wear them to work. I usually get like combat boots or something like that. I get them pretty cheap. Because I ain't gonna do nothing but wear them to work, and then I get my sneakers. But I wear casual shoes most of the time, and the casual shoes that I wear, I've had them for years. They haven't worn out. They're a good pair of shoes. They didn't even cost me that much, but because they're shoes that are meant for casual dress, they were they were perfectly made. I've had them for like 5 years, and that's what I wear when I'm not wearing sneakers or work shoes. Shoes that I wear to work have to either be boots or they have to be black shoes. Why am I telling you all my business? You don't care. I'm going to get me some shoes, okay? Done. Trying to get out of here. Go get me some shoes. So I'm not going to hold you long. This is Youre Cruz, your life applications officer. Let me say it again. This is my epilogue, and I understand that atheism is not based on the real answers that you have as to why you feel you can't trust religion, why you feel you can't trust the idea of a God. You're a fat liar. In your propaganda, you're Googling. I go to Google too, and I've tried to find things from a Christian standpoint. This is what I hate about atheists. This is why I go off, and why I come at you like the cult of Dusty in my manner of attitude when I talk about atheism. I do you like cult of Dusty would do a guy like me, okay? Because if I go on the internet, at the top of the domain list, there's some guy on there trying to pull you away from what you was just getting ready to read. You was getting ready to read a question, and somehow the atheist was able to get in there on top of everybody else. He's at the top of the sheet, telling you, trying to keep you from showing an interest in getting to know the Lord. And then you have this stuff where you go to a dictionary and you look up a simple word and they start talking about religion, and you're thinking, wait a minute. 20 years ago, this did not mean this. I just looked at this word to refresh my memory. And here, now all of a sudden I'm in a war with religion? Everything is about getting rid of religion today. Everything is about going up against Christians. You can become an atheist. This is how deceptive these atheists are. You can become an atheist at the supermarket, just trying to buy an apple. You can become an atheist just driving down the road, trying to take a vacation. You can become an atheist in school, high school, college. You can become an atheist anywhere. They just bring it up. Anywhere. Where it ain't got nothing to do with nothing. They just bring it up. No atheist has ever went to church, first of all, to do anything other than attack the people that are in the church, whether verbally or physically. He hasn't walked into a church. If you've called yourself an atheist, you didn't walk into no church unless you were there to do damage. First of all. Second of all, no atheist, or I'm sorry, no non-believer. Atheists are non-believers, but to differentiate, like I already did 3 videos explaining the difference between non-believers and atheists. Atheists are non-believers, but atheists are extremists. Whereas no non-believer who understood he needed the Lord or felt that he needed the Lord walked into a church and asked questions such as, what is the evidence for God? He knew. Let me tell the apologists something right now. No, and don't feel bad, apologists. They got me too. But no non-believer who wanted to know more about the Lord ever walked in and worried about evidence of God. He knew there was no substantial, physical, eye-shot evidence of God. He knew that. He had to know that before he walked into a church. What kind of idiot looks for evidence of God before he decides? See, it's not that we need evidence of God. It's not that evidence of God is out there and somebody's hiding it. What it is that the trick of saying, where is evidence for your God, is all about making you think, you people that don't think, you people that are lost. You know, it's kind of like 2 people arguing. Okay? And you just stop and start talking about my mama. Or start talking about my daddy. Or your mama. You know. Like, hold up. Now, see, that changes the conversation. See, saying that there is no God, or saying that or asking the question, where is the evidence for your God, is all about whistleblowing. It's all about shutting people up. It's not about getting a conversation going. And a conversation that you will get if you try to have a conversation with someone that would ask you that. And I did a video on that too, in this very series. You try to respond to that question, it just gets dumber and dumber and dumber as the moments go by. Because why? You weren't supposed to respond to that dumb question. You were supposed to say, anyway, as I was saying, Mr. Atheist. Okay? Are you here to talk because there's something that you don't understand? Or are you here to insult me? If you're here to insult me, you can move on, or I'll move on, whichever way we got in each other's face. You can go left, I'll go right, or vice versa. Okay? If you're just here to insult me. But if you really, really want to talk about something, I'll be glad to explain. I'll be glad to explain, because I want to see you have life more abundantly. And no one that walks up to somebody, even an atheist himself, I mean, there's some good atheists out there, I'm sure, but an atheist that walks up to somebody and says, where's evidence for your God, is not a good atheist. He's not a person that has an abundant life. He's a person that's very miserable. And a person that is out to just to blame all his problems in life on somebody else. It ain't no different than racist white people or racist black people. Blaming everything on black people or blaming everything on white people. It's immature. It's a whistleblower. It's a way of, we're in a conversation and you decide that you can't beat me in a conversation, so you just punch me in the face. Or spit in my face. Give me the finger. Because you know you're not going to win this conversation. That's just like conversations I've been in with people. You know what I'm saying? Okay, take all my work and push it onto the floor. Or break something that I own or whatever, because you know that you lost the argument. You're going to be fired. Okay? you're going to be fired anyway. You're going to be busted. Everybody knows you're in the hot seat. And you started it, but you're the one in the hot seat. So what do? You kick something, break something, throw something on the table. That's a tantrum. Okay, and I see these atheists, they're so uneducated and so dumb. I've watched the same atheists go from channel to channel to channel after all this time saying, where's evidence for your God? And then don't even watch the video. Go to another channel and say, where's evidence for your God? Don't even watch the video again. Go to another channel. Where's evidence for your God? Okay? And I told you where evidence for God is. There is no substantial physical evidence that atheists want. But there is evidence of God. Okay? But the thing is, when I ask you the question, what is substantial, true, honest evidence to an atheist? If you were to believe in evidence of God, what would that evidence look like? Don't talk about me. Don't try to beat me in my questions before I ask them. Answer the first question. What is true, honest evidence of a God? One God with a capital G. Don't, like one guy, I told him he couldn't answer the question, and he did the dumb thing that I knew he did, that I told him not to do. Got on there and said, well, first of all, it depends on what God you're talking about. Okay, all of them. Then. You jack behind. All of them. Give me evidence of one. And then I know he's going to say next. He's going to say something dumb like, well, so-and-so, people believed. I didn't ask you what the people believed. Was he a God or was he not? Did he have supernatural powers? Did he have power over heaven and earth? Did he have power over the sun, moon? You know what a God is. This is the thing that atheists been doing. Not only with conversation, but with our dictionary. Our very dictionaries. You go to something like the Quora, Quora, and you see where they've been tampering with. And then the Wikipedia. That is all about atheists tampering with the regular dictionary. That's where all these new dictionaries are coming from. That's not what the word meant 20 years ago. Everything. They try to shut all the holes and all the corners so can't nobody get in and experience God. They get into our schools, our dictionaries, our educational system, everything. And then you wonder why I raise my voice. You wonder why I sound like a madman when I talk about atheists. I'm a madman when I talk about terrorism too. Okay? Welcome. Okay? To the family, atheists. You've joined the club, you and your pagan religion. Now, this is my epilogue. If you are truly an atheist, I got bad news for you. If you're truly an atheist, and for the right reason, and the right reason would be because you found errors in religion that can't be explained, and you felt that you were being lied to and brainwashed, truly, honestly, lied to and brainwashed. And so, you chose atheism because you found out that if you can't trust, let's say you were Pentecostal. You figure if you can't trust the Pentecostal church, you can't trust anybody. So you became an atheist. If you truly are an atheist for the right reason, you won't be an atheist for very long. Because someone that becomes an atheist for the right reason is a researcher and a studier. He doesn't just take atheist dogma for his answer to everything. He studies because he wants to know well enough for his own peace of mind, not to please atheists, not to be just part of the team. He wants to know for his own peace of mind and safety what's really going on here. You are an atheist because you honestly doubt the existence and you see truthfully how religion has failed the world. You won't be an atheist for long. But not all atheists are honest about their lack of belief and concerns about religion or their confusion about religion. Not all atheists are honest. But some atheists, I'm not worried about you being an atheist. Okay? Because I know that you won't be an atheist for long because you're really a good person. You're really a good person. Atheists in the internet, as I just said, no straight answers, and the atheists got that fixed. Now, if I ask for something, by the way, happy 4th, because I'm probably going to take tomorrow off and not do any videos. I might do a video if I get bored, because I'm not going anywhere. I'll be at home watching everybody else do whatever they're doing. But happy 4th. And I know the atheists won't rest because they'll be out there trying to say that Independence Day is all about the day that we were independent from religion. So they'll be out there hating on the flag and hating on the Bible and everything else. Anyway, no straight answers. You winning all these people into atheism. No straight answers. Just your dogma that you created according to what thousands say instead of absolutes. You hate the absolutes. And I find out that a lot of atheists have trouble understanding basic concepts that are non-secular. Basic concepts that are they rather understand a bunch of science words. Big, giant words. You mean to tell me, this is the thing about evolution, science, and atheism all rolled up into one. I love science. Science was one of my favorite courses in school. Okay, but this new science that we're adding on to old science today, I don't trust it. And I've never trusted evolution. Even when I was a kid, I remember me and some black friends sitting there, and the teacher was teaching us about evolution. And you know how black people are. We all bust out laughing when they told us the ape thing. Our first question, you said it right out of my mouth. Were the first apes black or white? And we argued about it. This teacher was like, hold up, class, order in the court. We wanted to know. Oh, you say we came from monkeys. Or you say, black folks, they say we came from monkeys. Apes, monkeys, same thing, same breed, To them, it's all the same, And they say, wait a minute. They know it was apes, but they had to say monkeys. They like the word monkey better. You mean we came from monkeys? Then they start pointing around the room, pointing at which black guy looked like a monkey, Go ahead, do that little break dance for me. Moonwalk for me, show me the monkey dance, We was having fun, but we wasn't taking this teacher seriously. And I wasn't even really, at that moment, like really on fire for God. I wasn't really a Christian the way I should be. That was a little bit later, but we had fun with it, And we wanted to know, though. Seriously, though, teacher. Were the first apes black or white? See, if apes evolved into humans, I don't understand why they're still apes if that happened, because everything else that evolved it's gone. But now, apes are still here. Okay? Alright, we'll let that slide. Okay, so apes evolved into white men. And then the white men evolved into black men. What happened to the white men? How did all these white folks get into America? If the apes evolved into white men, they were brown and black. And then they evolved into white men. And then they evolved into black men. So somebody in the class would say, well, where white people come from then? Because actually, white people evolved into black people. So where'd all these white people come from then? See, it doesn't make sense. And no one ever talks about that. Did the apes evolve into? And I know the answer. I know the answer from something that science don't talk about. Not only as a Christian, but even if I wasn't a Christian, we were all the same race at one time. And climate changes, sickness and disease, and all that kind of stuff, we became other races as we moved around the world, spoke different languages. The Tower of Babel, okay, you know, the Tower of Babel, Genesis chapter 11, Tower of Babel. Anyway, Christians are hated because they believe in absolutes, and I do. Christians are hated because they believe in absolutes. What kind of evidence for God would an atheist call true evidence? I keep asking this. I want an answer. You can't. Okay, then. What kind of evidence would science call true evidence of a supreme God? Don't ask me, well, it depends on what God you're talking about. Oh, my God. Capital G, one God. You people that say you are atheists because you grew up in the church, you're a fat liar. Because you would know there's only one God. The only religions where there is more than one God is when you get into Eastern stuff. But if you go to Russia, America, Germany, even China, okay? One God. You go to the Middle East, one God. Who are you lying to? Who are you lying to? Oh, it depends on what God you're talking about. We have one thing in common in most parts of the world. One God. People get mad at Christians because we believe that God is a deity. In three. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. I didn't say Catholic. I say Christian. I did a series of videos on that too. That's the first thing that atheists need. Atheists, you mean it? Wait a minute. You mean to tell me you went around the world and you found out about all these different gods, and then you come back here to America and you call us Christians pagan, as if that's should come out of your mouth because you are pagan. How's a pagan person going to call me a pagan? Okay, heathen. Okay, you fornicator, you whoremonger. Okay, you sinner, you dirty heretic, okay, of this world. Not only of the Catholics, because I don't believe in Catholics. But you mean to tell me that you studied all this propaganda and you come back with, it depends on what God you're talking about. The Catholic Church is the headquarters of Christianity. They created Christianity. Really? You didn't get that from the scholars, I hate to tell you. You did not get that knowledge from the scholars. You're making this up as you go along, atheists. And there's so many liars in the Vatican that will push that same theology, that same ideology, that Christianity was founded by the Vatican. And they're doing the same thing these atheists are doing. They're pushing that ideology. But they know it's a lie. Christianity was found by nobody but Jesus Christ. At first, they were called Israelites. They were called simply the people of God. And now what breaks the religions down and destroys them all and leaves one standing is when Jesus Christ came and he told the Jews they were no longer his people because of their bloodline. But they had to be a Jew inwardly. In other words, they had to be a Christian. It doesn't matter what your bloodline is. It doesn't matter what country you come from. You believe in God, you got to believe also in me, Jesus. That's what he said. No more religious stuff. But the atheists, they decide to wait till 2000 and something to come up with, to take us backwards in time and say that, oh, there's a lot of religion and they're all buffoonery and they're all brainwashing and they're blah 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 blah. Really? You're kind of late. Jesus already did that. Jesus already did that. Boy, you're such a fake. You really are. And these apologists, they want to sit there and argue with you. I don't want to argue with you. I just want security. Can I get security? Get this, whatever this is, out my face. Because you don't know what you're talking about. You really don't. You're late. Okay? You're late. You're lying. Okay? And I can think of 10 words that rhyme with the word L. That come from the letter L. That you are. You're lazy. You're late. You're lacking. You're lacking evidence. If you're going to say there is no God after all this time, you better have substantial evidence that there is no God, because your ancestors, and in fact, a lot of you young heathens, you little young demons, okay, your mama believed in God. Your grandmama believed in God. Your little sister believes in God. Somehow they were able to skip being as dumb as you. But I understand your pain, atheists. This is all coming from the world falling apart. And it is. While you try to claim that morality is whatever we make it as we go along. Okay. Morality is relative. Okay. And then when things are out of hand, how does morality being relative help the average man or the average woman or child? You have no answers for society. You're so busy going after Christians and attacking them. You have no answers for this fallen world that is falling apart at the seam. It's falling apart. This country, America, is falling apart. Your country, Germany, your so-called atheist countries have already fallen apart. And while it's falling apart, you got nothing better to do than get on the internet and pick on Americans, because there's more Christians over here in America than there is over there where you're from. But this is the thing. Why do you think that is? And why do you think America is so huge and so powerful in the midst of all these other countries? They were already long time ago crushed. But America has been able to fight its enemies. Even when they made mistakes, they were able. You know why? They were able to fight their enemies, and even when it was their fault, they were still able to survive the attacks and everything that happened to us. You know why? Because Christian is a repentive term. We the people that call ourselves Christians, and we're high in number in America, we pray for this country. And we evict our political systems and our schools and all these different things to make them have a moral attitude about what's going on. Okay? And God what? God blesses this country because of us. It is not science that's keeping us alive. It's us calling on the name of the Lord in this country that keep it alive. Your atheism doesn't have any moral guidelines to help people stop wasting and consuming our energy and contaminating our lands. Go on with your stupid self and keep attacking the very thing that's keeping everything on its toes. Go on. Go ahead. Atheists create a God that supposedly does not exist. They create them because they have all this propaganda to say all these different things. They point the finger at him and his people, judging and claiming various fallacies. First time I heard the word fallacy was my pastor was up there preaching, and he was reading out of some Bible helps that he had written down in his commentary for a sermon, and he talked about other churches that call themselves Pentecostal. Have nothing to do with the Pentecostal church, have nothing to do with God. Okay? And he was right. But, like I said in other videos, I know the Pentecostal church alone has some issues, okay, that are not godly. Okay? I know that alone. Okay? Because I'm Pentecostal. And I don't feel that I need to lie for my church. I don't lie. My pastor knows that I'm going to be straightforward and honest with him. I don't need to lie. This is what these atheists are saying. They're saying that we're harboring, we got behind every wall and in the bottom of every basement. Okay? And in every secret room, we've got molested children. We have abused women. We have homosexuals behind bars. We're sacrificing people, and we're doing all kinds of crazy things to people. I think your mama is abusing you. I think your mama is raping and molesting you, Mr. Atheist. And I think that she beat you so bad with whips and chains, okay, that she threatened you and told you, blame it on the Christians. Because she didn't like Christians. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. The average Christian is just as angry and upset when people call themselves Christians and they do crazy things just as much as you are. In fact, we're more angry than you are because they put our name in the middle of that nonsense. But what do? You use the things that embarrass us to try. You use those things to try to destroy us. That's like somebody using the fact that some guy's son is in prison for rape charges or whatever. He's trying to be the mayor or the president or whatever. You use his son. He ain't trying to get his son out of jail. His son did the crime. He's doing the time. But you use his son to keep him from being the senator. You use his son to keep him out of politics. As if your kids can't do it too. As if your kids, no matter how well you raise them, no matter how well we raise our kids, that they can't do crime, they can't turn and do things that embarrass the family. It's no different. So therefore, they must assume that a supreme God would be. You must assume what a true God would be. Answer my question. What is substantial evidence for? What is scientific evidence for God? If God was to arise today and say, hey, I'm home, Would you recognize them? Would science recognize them? No. The whole point is, whether God exists or not, we want to keep him out of our cultures. We want to keep him out of our politics. We want to keep him out of our education system. We want to keep him out. That's what it's all about. It doesn't matter whether he exists or not. He's not coming down here like Godzilla and destroying whole cities because he caught somebody fornicating in their bed. Now is he? So therefore, we don't need him. And that is your attitude. That is your attitude. Why does it all seem like a game of middle school kids against faculty? And that's just what it is with you atheists. When I talk to you, I try to peacefully have a conversation with you. And what do? You mock me. Y'all shooting rubber bands and paper clips at each other and at me while I'm trying to teach, while I'm trying to explain. You ask me to explain. When I try to explain, you shoot me with gum bands and paper clips, you know. And then what I have to do? I have to suspend people. I have to delete people from my channel. Block people. Just silly games of words and phrases. Like that knucklehead that asked me yesterday, well, 2 days ago. When I said, what would science call substantial evidence? If you don't know what an atheist would call substantial evidence, what would science call substantial evidence? And what did he tell me? Well, it depends on what God you're talking about. I didn't say evidence for gods with a little g and a plural. I said God. You're busted, atheists. You're busted because, number one, you jumped into this without education. And two, you jumped into this with a goal in mind, but the goal that you have in mind is not what you're throwing at us. You're not looking for evidence of God. You're looking for a way to destroy the minds of those that believe in God. Because you know that believing in God, even for a Muslim, for a Jehovah's Witness, a Mormon, even Buddhist people have a tendency to live better than you do. Okay? Now, these are all fallacies. But, where I come from, but they are better than atheists. Because at least they have moral guidance. If I ask the Buddhists the same questions that I ask atheists, they have an answer, even though it might not be the answer I'm looking for. At least they have an answer. It might be a dumb one, but at least they got an answer. Just a game with you atheists. Because your agenda has nothing to do with trying to save the world. No, you're trying to destroy the world by destroying the minds, the innocent minds of those that innocently believe in the existence of God and our worship to him. Okay? Atheists don't listen well and think before they shoot off or post. They don't. You say 10 things, they respond to 1 or 2 with silly answers that are not answers at all. Some religions appear to be brilliant, a brilliant idea, but not atheists. They're like street punks spraying graffiti all over everything that doesn't apply to them without a good reason as to why. And I'm going to stop there because I've got a lot more notes that I've done. 40 minutes is longer than I wanted to go in the first place. I got to get out of here. But God bless you. Thanks for watching. I'm probably going to do the rest of this on the 4th, like I told you I wouldn't. Everybody say hello to Mr. Donald Trump for me. He won. Okay, he made it through Independence Day before the Muslims killed him. Okay. So, I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for, I guess it would be part 2. Yeah, it would be J2, I think, on the next video. So stay tuned for more of me kicking your butt, the finale. Thanks for watching.